Welcome to part 2 of Peeling Back the Layers. If you haven't watched episode 1, stop this video, go back and watch that first, then follow on with this episode, which is part 2, looking at empowering yourself. Each week, every week for the next 3 weeks, I want us to continue on this journey together as we peel back the layers. Each week I will share some truth that were within me relating to negative child imprints. I'm Debbie A. Anderson, and like you, I am someone on a journey called life, a seeker of the truth and a sharer of spiritual insights. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you are here because you have realized that there is something that you had buried when you were a child that could be affecting you in a negative way, and that something is none of us want. That's correct, right? None of us want that. Like the story, the truth I shared with you last week, I thought that things to do with my childhood traumas had been cleared, released. And of course, it is only when something rears its ugly little head up to bite us where it hurts, we have to look at it again, and possibly again and again and again. So what we're doing over the next 3 weeks is taking baby steps so as not to overwhelm ourselves, because I certainly don't want you running into the dark screaming blue murder. All I can say is if you feel everything in your life has been dealt with, then click off and go and do something else that you need to. And of course, if not, welcome. Sit back and let's look at ways to empower you relating to negative child imprints. So a quick recap on what I shared with you last time. Release. Letting go, freeing yourself from a childhood story that is still very raw. Yes, you open up that wound like it was there and throbbing again. But when you let it go this time, you release it, you feel liberated and free. Relearn. It was only when I allowed myself, notice I said allowed myself, to accept what had happened in my life was when I was a child. And when it happened, it was beyond my control. I then stepped away from blame. This is part of the relearning. And then return. When you learn to love you, and I mean love you, you can and will want to move on because you value you, and so you should. As Schwarzenegger said in the movie, I'm back. So that's going to be the part 3. My reason, or the part 4 really, my reason for breaking this down into modules, so to speak, is that we need to start somewhere. And I will emphasize start, because if you want to make this work for you, here's the little spoiler alert, you have to put in some time, energy, and yes, commitment to you, for you, because of you. And I hope that's a yes on all levels, because we are going to be looking at this as mind-based conditioning. What you have received, you've taken on board and made your own. Yep, like it or not, we have it within us a program. Everybody has programs within them, and maybe it's time to change it, rev it up a little, move it. So let's move forward and work with that, because it is a time to embrace one of these 3 new words that will hopefully become part of your mantras as you do this work. Today it's the first of 3 simple steps. Last week was the beginning, if you like, and then we have 3 more programs, including today. And I will walk you through this and even share an experience of mine in an effort to help you to understand where I'm going with this. Okay, so release. We all know this word, especially anyone who has done any kind of body work. So possibly I'm not sharing anything new, but maybe the reason you're listening to this video is because that alone hasn't quite worked for you. Been there, done that, and yeah, it's okay. It happens. For many of you watching, you are already aware that you are more than just your physical body. We are mind, body, and soul, which translates to we are more than just flesh and blood. And our mind is a great carrier of thoughts, good, bad, and ugly, and of course, everything in between. When we talk about letting go, we need to release anything we are still harboring within us. This is the time when you need to identify any childhood memories or moments in your life that are affecting you now. Possibly it's one that keeps looping around and around, going over and over again within you. Now for my share. As a child growing up, I wasn't the smartest kid in class. I was average. That was okay. Middle of the road, if you like. There were things I enjoyed doing, and of course those I didn't. So when it came to getting the report card at the end of the year, I knew in my mind which subjects I would get a yay, she did good, and those subjects where it was like, yeah, I either wouldn't or didn't want to excel. You know, we all have subjects we love, and then there are subjects we have to do. So just keep that in mind. And you know what I'm talking about here, okay? Some subjects just don't resonate with you. However much you put an effort into it and try harder. So I just accepted with dignity as a child that I wasn't ever going to be an Olympic athlete or the best historian in the world. And as for algebra, well, who uses it anyway? Sorry for any of you out there that do. I've never used it. My hubby does, but that's okay. But for me, I loved writing. I would read and make up stories. It was my escape, my diversion to take me to places I thought I may never be able to go to. And at that time in my life, I definitely didn't. So back to the report card. At this time, as a teenager, I suppose I truly didn't understand the impact that this would have on me in the years to come. But there, for English, writing specifically, were the words that were written in indelible ink that really hurt me. Stuck it at me, if you like, ate at my soul. And they were, she is slow and methodical and will never amount to much. So fast forward, I left school, got a job. I tried really hard, putting effort into everything to try and quell those words. But the more I tried to work on it, the more I would feel, especially when I didn't succeed, as if I was fulfilling the prophecy of that teacher. And the words will never amount to much. They would play over and over in my mind. I was young. And the age of enlightenment that is available today was never there in the early 70s, trust me. Hey, we didn't even have computers or internet then. I know, it was a time, a dark time. We read books, we went to the library. Anyway, it wasn't until much later on in life, after I had tried and was unsuccessful at various jobs, that it dawned on me. Methodical was not a negative word. In fact, the word meant logical, systematic, disciplined. And yes, of all those, there came a time that I embraced the word methodical. I was proud to be methodical. But the will not amount to much still kept biting at me, kept coming back, entering my thoughts. It was like a canker sore that hurt whenever it was touched, remembered. So this is when and where I needed to release it, to let it go. Which is what I did, and this is how you can do it too. Remember, I was a teenager, young, vulnerable, insecure even. This was a teacher who was now, in my later adult years, possibly retired or even passed on into spirit. Maybe the day she wrote this, she had written negative things on other kids' reports too, regardless of her intention. If I choose to let this one sentence define my life, all I was doing was proving her right. She would win, I would lose. It was at a time after that I had just birthed my son into this beautiful world that I heard those words in my head again. But I think it was Spirit saying to me, hey kiddo, you are successful. You have this tiny soul to take care of, to nurture, to love, to care for. You need to let go of those words. They're no longer yours to keep. And yes, in my heart and soul, I had amounted to something. More than something. I was a mother. As the years went on, I could see my methodical way had achieved a lot for me. And as for not amounting to much, well, lady, you were quite wrong. I am vibrational. I am empowering my life every single day and hopefully inviting those around me to release and empower their lives. So are you with me on this one? You've got to look inside and find what childhood negative memory do you need to release from your life. And if it's more than one, write them down. Take some time. So let's take a moment now to clear your vibrational soul by taking 3 cleansing breaths and releasing. So are you ready? Good, I hope so. Let's take that first breath in, and as you do, think of just one thing that you feel blessed about. And as you breathe out, let go of any childhood emotional resentment. Just visualize it floating away. So let's just do that now. Take that first breath in. Think about that blessing and release that breath. Any resentments, let them go. Now take that second breath. And as you're doing that, think of something you have done today that made you feel good. And as you breathe out, release that breath slowly, seeing any childhood hurts drifting up into the universe. And for the final breath, as you breathe it in, pull in healing love and fill your whole body. You deserve it. And now as you let it out, that breath, say in your mind, I am vibrational. I am empowered. Do those breaths as you need to. As you're working through each one, the important message I'm conveying with this first step is the word release. This is for you to honor you and pay attention to those innermost hurts. They are very real to you. Of course they are. They've been there clinging to your soul for your lifetime. So don't be dismissive of you as you peel back the layers. As I've shared at the beginning, we're taking baby steps. And yes, you do have to put in the time and the effort because this is your life. This is your truth. Take a few minutes every day to do the breathing exercise and keep doing this until you have cleared out, got rid of any and all of the negative childhood imprints that may still be affecting you in your life. So before I finish, I'm going to use the Vibrational Earth Children deck and pull a card from it and to see for what we've covered to take us through to the next week. All right, and then next week we're going to be looking at relearn. Okay, so let me take the deck and shuffle away and see what card is going to be our card for the day. And I'm going to actually read from the book. So these are very childlike responses, because that's what we need to hear. Our child needs to hear childlike responses, especially when we're doing that. Okay, I've got the card. Eager Beaver, yay! So let me get the card. Let me get the book open to Eager Beaver. Okay, okay, there we go. And I will hold the card up so you can see it. All right, I'm just making sure I'm in the middle there because now I'm not in the middle, but that's okay. Let's put it to one side so you can actually see my face. Some tasks and learning activities can seem boring. Well, this is one, isn't it? I don't really want to go into this one. If we stop and think too long about them, we don't want to do them. Oh my gosh, thank you, Spirit. The beaver knows that being creative and eager gets the work done. Do the work. Put in the time. Guess what? So use your creativity to take the time to make the task, more interesting. Think of something that inspires you. I love that. Think of something that inspires you with passion and enthusiasm. When we work hard, it is enjoyable and we feel a sense of accomplishment. Share your eagerness with others to help them get the job done. Vibrational Earth children are eager to work learn and gain knowledge. That is very true on what we are going to be addressing this week. As far as I'm concerned, that says it all. Be an eager beaver this coming week as you release and let go. See you next week for part 3. Vibrational blessings, everyone.